Hello, this is Perished Garden, and welcome to my 9 to 5. Here I am, picking up from yesterday. Um, yeah, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, cutting the tops off those things so I could put the sprinkler in. Cutting out the extra volunteer sunflowers they are going to take over the sidewalk, and I don't want that. I did let them last year take over the sidewalk, and it was like, you know, a spicy disaster. We don't want that. We want a controlled environment. Actually, what I don't want is just all around failure. So I do have my plants separated out, basically a foot separation from each other. And even that, it's staggered. So there should technically be enough space for everything. But when I have the sunflowers covering everything, there's not enough sunlight. And if there is enough sunlight, there's not enough water. So the sunflowers are very strong, powerful plants. They have essentially a great straw, for lack of knowledgeable words. hmm And they're going to suck up all the water they need. And all of these other plants, although they are great, strong plants, it's very hard for them to compete against the sunflowers. Um, the sunflowers also bring a special level of pests with them. While I was taking out a lot of these sunflowers today, I did notice a lot of them had dark spots on their leaves. And those are some weird cocooning, burrowing worm caterpillar things. And they will hatch. I think there might be moths, but whatever. Um, they will hatch and they will eat the rest of the plants and they will burrow again in the sunflower, and more will be made. The sunflower can handle it. The other plants can't, and they'll start to get eaten away. So the less sunflowers I have, the less of those bugs come with it. Now, why don't I just want sunflowers? Because I like variety. I really do. And I have set this up so that way we can have a variety of everything. Towards the end, there were a lot of plants because there's a lot of sunflowers towards the end that were like elongated and snaking around. Like they just look very weird. And it's because they're trying to maneuver themselves to where there's sun. So if the weeds and unwanted plants are doing that, imagine how hard of a time the wanted plants are having. Um, so yeah, I mean it'll be fun to have a bunch of sunflowers, but will it? Like that's all I can have. So everything has its place. Like it has a space available for it. So everything I want here can grow. It can. It just needs its It needs to be set up properly for opportunities and such, all that good stuff. So we will have sunflowers, just not that many. There's also a lot of that blue sage. Here's the thing about all these plants that I picked. They're great plants for you to put somewhere and just let them go wild. That's not what I'm set up for. I'm set up for controlled chaos, not a hot mess. And there's just some plants that are better at growing than others. This is like the perfect environment for those blue sages. Not so much for the Johnny jump ups. If the poppies can establish themselves. Oh, it's a great place for them. If obviously weeds, love it. Petunias as well. Well, they're not as aggressive as everything else. Petunias do not go overboard. They love their little pot and they will thrive the hell out of that little pot. Um, but they don't spread around. Those alyssums that you see there, those purple ones in the back behind the milkweed, they will spread like crazy. So yeah. What else will go crazy? The nostrums, those little orange ones, they will spread like wildfire. Which would be great if they didn't drown out everything else. What else? What else spreads like crazy? The zinnias. Now they do need to establish themselves, but they will go wild. Like their seeds will just go everywhere, and they will come out like crazy. So yeah. Now I don't mind so much the tiny ones, but then I have the big ones. I didn't put those out this year, but the big ones will take over everything. But so with the little ones. Like I said, I don't mind the little ones. The big ones that get in the way of the sidewalk. Sunflowers will go everywhere, anywhere. That milkweed, I never even put milkweed on this side of the garden. That's usually up by the front door. This is far, far away from the front door. So if you want to know if this tropical milkweed will um, grow and be contained, I think that answers your question. Um, what do I got going on here? This is the end. Oh, hang on. Okay, so up ahead, I have a bit of a Karen moment. There was a grasshopper, a locust. How dare the locust survive in my garden? I just thought it was kind of funny, so I'm sharing it with you. Here's me trying to kill it. I was trying to swoop it, like push it through the fence, but it was like, wait, I have wings and legs, and then I smack it because it comes right at me, and then I put the broom on top of it because what else am I gonna do? I don't want that thing flying. I'm like, yeah, I got goosebumps thinking of it flying on me. So then I take apart the broom because it's underneath the bristles. My cup is in the way, and I undo the broom. That was my solution. Now I know it's not gonna be able to jump away from the bristles, but until I move those bristles, that is not my problem. It's not going anywhere. Which my husband does come and help me take care of that. Okay, so here we are, done. Huge transformation. I don't know how to use my mouth today. Huge transformation. There we go, words. Um, there was a lot of plants over there that were starved for sunlight because I could see how they were long and squaggly and snaking around trying to get sunlight. So, yes, they all need sunlight, but then it gets overly dried, so everything dies. And that's the balance I'm trying to keep here in this garden. I'm pretty sure these are not chamomile, so I'm just gonna rip those out. Just got some weeds there. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up for next week, where I'll be sure if it's what I want or don't want. But here it is, way more empty than what we started. Hopefully I have a before and after to put here. So this is the only before and after I could find. You can see this is like the beginning of the plants, and those are all sunflowers. I'm pointing, but this is all the sunflowers that were there. Just wanted to give like the best overall recap of what was everywhere. All right, back to me talking. I am going to test out the sprinklers next and adjust their potency, I guess. You know, like this one here, how far out? Because this one has literally one right there. So I don't need that one to jump all the way over here. I need it to get this. This one here should be getting that one. And then we have the problem of that plant blocking. So that's what I'm going to be checking. I'm not going to record that because I don't want my phone to get wet. That would be no fun. But that's what I'm going to be doing next. Obviously cleaning up the mess I made. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so here I am, about to make dinner. Now, because we have become more of a afternoon outing family, sports and activities to do, it's been hard to make dinner, plate it, and show you. But at the very least, here I got some chicken. It's washed and ready to be seasoned, and my cast iron there. So I do the seasoned salt, Lurie's, or whatever store brand you got. I like to put that down because it doesn't burn as much as the garlic and onion. It just leaves a nice, delicious flavor on the bottom there without worrying about flavors burning. But yeah, I put that on one side and I put everything down. And I try to touch things as minimal as possible because chicken juice is gross. Now with the other hand, I do the salt. I do the salts on the top. Go rinse my fingers. Clearly my feet hurt because I'm waddling like a little duck. I don't know what that glitch was all about, but okay. Then I do the garlic and onion. Hubby's taking out the trash, so he's making sure he gets everything. I don't know why it keeps glitching. It's so weird. Do you guys see the glitch? I'm watching YouTube, of course. Season that up with some garlic and onion. And then I get the aluminum foil. But that is basically all I've got for you because, like I said, I put that in the oven for 430 minutes. And then we've got to go, so I don't get to do anything else. I make corn on the cob and asparagus with this, and you could also toss that like on top of this. You could wrap it up so it cooks at the same time. Sometimes I just toss it in the microwave. Do whatever works for you. And that was it. That was dinner. So thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.